Welcome to We Are Soccer, the show that talks about pro soccer, youth soccer, and everything in between. I'm Craig Hearn, and I'm pissed off. VAR strikes again. It has ruined the best league in the world. It's ruined many games. It's ruined a lot of different things. We'll have some discussions about that. I'm really pissed, if you couldn't tell. The amount of games it's ruined this weekend. Are you kidding me? Video assistant replay. Video. We can go to a monitor and look to see what happened. And yet we still managed to get it wrong. Unbelievably. One of the best leagues in the world. It spent £1.9 billion in transfers this year. 1.9 billion with a B in transfers. And yet our referees are half-assing it. Even the guys who can look at a video from all different angles are getting it wrong. Unbelievably. You're telling me the best league in the world can't afford to get this stuff right? It blows me away. We have below par referees in the English Premier League, and it's pissing me off. It's ruining games. I have people asking me if there's a bias towards the Big Six, with Chelsea getting calls, with Man United getting calls. I don't think there's a bias. I think it's just shitty refereeing. Now, I guess I've already done it and said shitty refereeing, below par refereeing. Being a referee in the fastest, strongest, most physical league in the world is tough. It is very tough. I get that. I absolutely get that. And what I do like this year from the referees is they're really letting the game play. They're not calling the ticky-tack fouls. We're not seeing people roll around on the ground like we have in years past. They're really letting the game play. There is contact, because that's soccer. There's contact in this sport. It's a physical sport. That's going to happen. What I can't get past is the fact that when a goal is scored, we have to wait a minute and a half to see if it's a legit goal. And when a foul happens, all right, it's either called or not called. The guy up in the booth who's video reviewing this takes 2 minutes to review it. Then he has to call down to the field. We have to send the referee to another monitor. He's got to look at it for 2 minutes. If he's been called down, the guy in the booth's obviously telling him there's something wrong. So what's he going to do? He's most likely going to change his original call. Guys, let's get this right. I don't know how the MLS, the Bundesliga, and all these other leagues in the world are getting it right, but the best league in the world, the Premiership, can't get it right. It's driving me insane. All right, let's before we delve too much further into it and some of the VAR decisions that happened this weekend, why don't we talk to the boys at the kids' table? Nate, Brooks, how are you boys doing? Are you as pissed off this weekend, this Sunday night, as I am?
No, because didn't we talk about how EPL VAR blows and that they need to take lessons from Bundesliga and MLS?
We
did. Discussed this before.
Why haven't they done that?
Because they think they're all know-it-alls and they think, let's look at every little detail because we're the EPL and that's what we have to do.
Sounds about right.
Rather than actually understand if it's a clear and obvious mistake that it should be looked at and reviewed. You're today 10 feet away from the Christian Eriksen foul on Odegaard. If you didn't call it then, why bother calling it?
100% agree. 100% agree. He was 10 feet. He had there was no obstructive view. Yes. The referee looked straight at it, didn't call it. It was a very nice goal that led to that. Now, what I will say is
he covered his ass.
I do think I have heard some, and I believe Nate is one of those United fans who said it probably wasn't a foul. I do think it was a foul. I think VAR got that decision right. But why did it take them? Why did VAR take so long to come to the fucking table and play this weekend? Nate, your thoughts?
I guess they just have a different view on fouls watching the Bundesliga and they let things go. And I put it, Frank, to this. If your favorite team was in a final and that happened in the box and that led to the game-winning PK, are you okay with it? And if the answer is yes, okay. I mean, to me, I thought it was a little bit soft. That's just me, though. Hey, I get it. Well, you didn't have the ball. I understand all that. I understand the rule. Also understand this is a physical game. I also understand 15, 20 years ago, we called things a little bit different. Yeah. And honestly, if you watch the Bundesliga week in and week out, they don't call things like that. They kind of let it go.
Same with MLS.
Yeah.
They tend to let that go.
So that's just my point of view, and
I get it.
That's me as a United fan. So
I mean, do they protect the players too much? Is it too much for the big boys now?
Well, it is.
Are the refs scared because they don't want to hear backlash from the clubs and the head referee association and the fans?
That's where the so-called bias is coming in that I'm hearing about. I don't know. But now don't forget, Arsenal are actually one of the big six as well. So they're considered one of the big six. Right? So all of a sudden they got a call against him. Now it was at Old Trafford, right? We'll consider that.
Yes.
When you have 100 million pound players running around the field, there is that type of, hey, let's protect our assets and investments that goes with it. Yeah. It is what it is.
I don't know. I thought Eriksson knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he felt a little pressure and went down like a ton of bricks.
He did. He felt it. And I don't know.
But, you know what? At the end of the day, I go to who gives a shit, because there was plenty of other action within that game, and that's a single,
and I agree.
That's a single moment within 90
I agree.
minutes.
I absolutely agree.
True.
Well, all right, before we jump into that game, I do want to ask some questions. Brooks, what's with the Australian jersey today? I love it. I love it. You just felt like wearing Australia today?
Yeah. No, I think...
Planning a trip, maybe?
No, I think where'd I get this? My sister went to Australia a few years ago for a friend's wedding, and she brought this back for me.
Cool.
What do you want? And, actually, no, maybe this was a while ago when she lived in Japan for a couple years, and then she went to go visit a friend in Australia, like, around the same time. Anyway, she brought back my brother and I, like, one Japanese one, like a Japanese club team, and then Australia one. I took the Australia one. He got the Japanese one.
All right, cool. Yeah. I like it. I absolutely love it. Actually, all right, Nate, you're wearing a Man United shirt there.
I got multiple of outfits, but yes, that's because usually you start with the Premier League. With that. But more importantly, we all know that Brooks had a busy day today.
He did. Brooks had a really busy day, and I know you did too, Nate.
Nah, I never really have a busy day. Right. I just like to pretend. And I know Brooks, is scouting all day and, burning off calories and whatnot. So I brought him some snacks. So he could eat. So what I got is just like I do with my kids.
Is Reed going to be okay with this?
Probably not. Vanilla cupcake.
Vanilla cupcake.
Yep.
Oh, shit, Mott's.
I got Mott's.
Oh, damn.
Fruit flavor. Oh, hold on.
A Chewy bar?
Oh, no, a Special K.
Oh, you spoil me.
90-calorie bar.
You spoil me.
Because vegans suck. Beef stick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, you got all the goodies.
Oh, don't worry. Baked nutrition fig bar.
Oh.
Like a giant fig Newton.
Wow.
Because it's Labor Day.
Hey.
A mini fruit pie. Hold on. We're almost done. We're almost at the bottom here. All right. You're
like Mary Poppins snacks.
2 of the best premium Chewies.
Yes.
S'mores.
Yes.
And the last but not least, because Germany, a Kinder Bueno mini.
Ooh,
very nice.
I'll enjoy that there.
Very nice.
Wow.
Technically, I think what happened, Brooks, is Nate's on a very restricted diet right now, and he just cleened out his pantry. I don't want to throw this stuff out, so...
I will watch TikTok videos of people cooking and stare at it longingly like normal people look at like the opposite sex or the sex they're attracted to. Same look. My wife will glance over and be like, "What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "He is frying up a flank steak." Oh,
that's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm gonna eat these Mott's gummies right
now. Yeah, go for it.
That's real fruit juice there.
All right. Reed. Well, it sounds like you guys had a great weekend. Brooks, I do want to say I really do like the Socceroos jersey. And now
they're in the World Cup.
They're in the World. You got me. You got where I was going with this. They're in the World Cup. And if you need a place to purchase new World Cup jerseys, be sure to visit our friends over at Soccer World. I was actually there on Friday. I may have spent a little too much money. Soccer World is one of my favorite places. I visited the Brighton store. They're also in Canton and Rochester, but Brighton, I visited my good friend Rod over there and may have purchased a few things, and now I'm in debt. A lot. So anyway, for all the friends watching out there in the Metro Detroit area, be sure to visit Soccer World and tell them Craig and the We Are Soccer crew sent you. All right, boys, lots to talk about. I know we're gonna get to. We'll do some Bundesliga chat time. We will do some MLS roundup. We've got a team of the week that I'm kind of excited about. Team of the week from Michigan. If you guys don't know, Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer do a team of the week each week. This week, we have a really cool team. We'll tell you how they won. We had a lot to get to. Why don't we dive in and talk about the Premiership games that happened? Let's talk about that Man United-Arsenal game. That was on today, Sunday. I know a lot of people on the We Are Soccer group who are probably watching right now. And to everybody who's watching now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, how you doing? Be sure, throw your comments in here. Let us know about that game. Let us know your thoughts. Nate, Brooks, and I are going to jump in right now and talk about it. I personally think Arsenal played a very entertaining game. I thought they were probably the better team. They passed triangles and circles around Man United, but Man United way more clinical, and they got guys on their team who know how to put the ball in the net, and when they have their foot on the throat of the opponent, United seem to come through and get the job done. Best game of the week for me was absolutely that Man United-Arsenal game. Rashford, 2 goals. I'm telling you right now, United stunted his growth last year by putting Ronaldo in and starting Ronaldo for all those minutes. The best thing Erik ten Hag has done with this team is put Ronaldo on the bench and Rashford on the pitch. The kid has talent. He's got confidence now. He's scoring goals. That's going to benefit United this entire year and for years to come, in my opinion. Without Eriksen, Man United don't have a chance in many games. They need to keep him healthy. They need to keep him fresh because he is the key to getting them going. With that being said, I also think the key to Arsenal is Martin Odegaard. That kid can play. Wow. He finds pockets and he finds holes to thread the ball through that no one else can see. What a player. Really, really enjoy watching him play. Anthony with a nice goal to get the goal scoring going today. Kissing the badge after the goal, for me, that's a little much. You just got there. That's kind of reserved for people who've been there for a while. But if you can tell me that he's loved the club for years, grew up watching them, I'll let it go. An interesting stat, I believe it was Nate posted this earlier today on the We Are Soccer Facebook group. Anthony is now the 100th Brazilian player to play in the EPL and the youngest to score, age 22 years, 192 days. All right, boys. Nate, what's your thoughts on that game specifically? I'm very interested.
Well, I disagree with your assessment on Arsenal and United. I mean, I think United played a very good, very fast counter-attacking going forward game. Mm-hmm. That's why they didn't have the possession stat, which kind of, I don't know, I think possession's also a meaningless stat most of the time. I think it was awesome for Anthony to get his first goal being in Manchester for 5 minutes, I guess.
If I could interrupt you on one, I will, and I can show you. I bet on Anthony to score in this game, so I figured he was going to come out and score. Yep. But sorry just before I forgot.
Way to make money.
Yeah, hey, $4.50.
I would have never bet that. I also agree with you with the whole Rashford being stunted, and actually that was my biggest issue with Ronaldo coming to this team when he did. Is I looked at the forwards we had and I just said, hey, this doesn't make any sense. At the time, you had Greenwood, you had Rashford, you had Martial, and you had Sancho that just came in. All were young, and then you had Cavani as the veteran that you had in the wings in case you need that. So it never really made sense to me, that whole signing. I think it was a panic signing. I still do that, and I 100% agree with the Rashford. And I disagree with the Eriksen thing, because I think once you get Casemiro in regularly, and Fred finds a little bit. Fred is, I think, a much better player than people give him credit for. I think Fernandez is still there and good. And, Mikitomi might be able to, or Mikitami or whatever.
McTominay.
Yeah, there you go. I always say that name wrong.
Mikitami.
You always remind me.
McTominay,
whatever. Yeah.
He actually played well today.
Yeah, I think with more support in that area, he has a potential of being good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great that Eriksen's playing the way he is, but I think you have other good midfielders there that if he slumps, they can step in. Same thing with Fernandez. I mean, Fernandez can be hot and cold at times and go on a great run of games and then all of a sudden not be there. And that's where it's good to have a couple of these midfielders ready to go. The nice thing with United, I guess, as a fan, they pretty much have a easy run of games coming up here outside of the City game. So they could go on a decent run and really kind of...
And people were really worried after the first two games, obviously, right? But now they're 4 wins, 2 losses, and you kept a calm head. But a lot of United fans were really, really worried. But
remember, I wasn't.
We may have to go back and look. But no, you were right. There was 1 or 2 United fans who were calm. But they do have a little bit of an easy run of games, and if they can put it together, this is how you put it together, right? Erik ten Hag said, "Don't rush to judgment. This is going to take a little time." And the United board actually backed him. I've heard today that he was guaranteed when he came in £120 million. They said, you can spend £120 million on new players. He actually went and spent over £240 million. So he went to the board, got more money, and they backed him. They did the right thing.
2 losses will do that to you.
Well, I think
shit! I mean, Brentford did a number on you. I mean, you should.
Yeah, 4-0. I mean, woo.
Yeah.
I agree, but it shows that the board is backing him,
And the Seagulls beat him.
which is a good thing and what they needed.
Yeah.
Now I do think I do want to. I don't want to say disagree with Nate. I think we can have a little bit of a maybe. We'll say a disagreement, I guess, but I really do think it's Eriksen that makes that team tick. The way he can come back, get the ball, turn, and spray the ball wide or find Rashford through the middle. I think he is the man that is really making them tick right now. I don't think Fernandez can do that. I think that's where they struggled last year because Fernandez was trying to be that player, and he clearly wasn't. Casemiro, a good pickup. I think
Came on for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, came on. He's got to get his feet wet.
He's
He got to
been
get
at
his feet
United
wet.
for a week as well.
I love it. I was just like, this is the guy you want to bring in the last 15 minutes to close out the game. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Seriously, like
Truck's going off.
They sugarcoat shit so much. It's just absurd sometimes. Like, yes, he's a good player. He was great for Real Madrid. Come on now, but don't sugarcoat the damn thing.
My recommendation is watching the game, but without the volume. I put a lot of those games on mute because I can't stand the bias
I watch
towards
college soccer when I'm watching online sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't stand the student people. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it was a good game. I do like the fact that they have bulked up their midfielder. They brought in some players like Eriksen and Casemiro because Fred you're right, Nate. He's not a bad player, but he's a scapegoat. He's a scapegoat, along with Maguire, a scapegoat for United fans.
If Maguire gets a yellow card right when he comes on, too.
I will say Maguire obviously got on the last 15 minutes. That's a good player to bring on and close the game out. He's going to struggle to get playing time with this team and how they're playing now.
I will say
Martinez is a good player, especially at 5'9".
Yes. I will say this. I did shit on De Gea, and I thought he was very good today. I know that was one player I kept saying that
he played very well.
But he has those times where he's like super De Gea, and then he's like, where are you, De Gea?
He could be the worst goalie in an over 30 men's league sometimes. Yes. And he's terrible with his feet at times, makes bad decisions. Yes. But then you get him like today. And he's a superstar. He could have been man of the match in some people's eyes. Yes. For me, I do think Eriksen was man of the match for United. Yes. I just kind of love the way he's got that team playing and the way he goes. As he goes is how United goes, in my opinion.
One little bit on that. Kurt Johnson here is saying that he thinks he puts it on the Arsenal coach towards the end, changing the formation which cost more goals. He thinks if he would have not changed and kept it as is, but just tossed on the fresh legs, you probably wouldn't have had that problem.
He did make subs, but it was after they went down 2-1.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Kurt. Saw him last night at the DCFC game. He screamed at me as he walked by. But Arteta had to change it up. I think honestly, before Man United scored that second goal, I thought Arsenal were playing the better soccer. I really thought that Arsenal were going to get a second goal and go ahead and win that game. And then United just kind of put their foot down, and they used their experience with Eriksen and some of the other players. They used their experience because Arsenal is a lot younger team. But it is what it is. Great game, a really good game, a really entertaining game in my opinion.
So the one thing I bring up is, Arsenal start off, they win their first 5-15. They drop one today.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of noticed, do they have enough off the bench to win them games when it's close? That's my thing. Is are they deep enough with experienced players to win them games?
I think they've got some great players who can come off the bench. Like today, they brought Emile Smith-Rowe off the bench, but the experience part is what you just said there. He's a year and a half of experience under his belt. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I think, and that's one of the reasons they tried to get Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa during the transfer market. They tried 3 separate bids to get Luiz, and Villa resisted and said no. Luiz didn't come out with a transfer request, but he did say, I would like to possibly go there if the bid is correct. Villa had a good estimate on him and said, no, we're not going to sell you because we don't need to.
Yeah.
With that signing, I think that would have really helped Arsenal. Unfortunately, it didn't come off for them. I do want to say, I think part of that, Villa saying no 3 times to Arsenal, was because last year we put 3 separate bids in for Emile Smith-Rowe. And Arsenal said no. I think we bid in. Yeah, so a little. Hey, when you've got owners of clubs that don't need to sell, then why sell? I mean, unless it's an outrageous bid, and from what I understand, it was not outrageous bids. Plus, Villa fans will get on me a little bit about this if I don't say it. There is a sell-on clause that goes to Man City because we got Douglas Luiz from Man City. Part of that signing was there's a sell-on clause. If it's anything over £20 million, there is a sell-on clause. So obviously we would up the price on him. Let's talk. Speaking of Aston Villa, let's talk about Aston Villa versus Man City. That game was played on Saturday at 12:30. I personally was a bit scared of this game. I was very cautious about what could happen. Man City have been flying high. Erling Haaland, we had a discussion last week. Could he be the best player ever in the Premiership? Yes, we went a little bit above and beyond on that. But, man, oh man, he did get his goal against Villa. He has now 10 goals in 6 games, equaling a record there. As Haaland came into this league, people said, all right, it's going to take him a long time to get up to speed with the league. Can he stay healthy? Maybe the league is too fast for him. Maybe it's too physical. Well, he stayed healthy through 6 games, only 6 games. He has proven that it's not too physical. He can battle. It's not too technical. It's not too skillful. He scored 10 goals. Now, I get it. The level of the opponents hasn't been the greatest. Let's see how he goes over the next 6 to 10 games. But you can't fault the kid. He's played who he can play in front of him. He's played all those teams, and he's put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he's been asked to do. With that being said, Man City had 0 shots on target in the first half against Villa. 0-0. Villa did a very good job of keeping Man City and their possession-based soccer in front of them. And Tyrone Mings kept Erling Haaland in his back pocket for most of that first half. Actually, most of the game. And it looked like he was having fun. They got caught on camera a little bit where they were poking and jabbing each other, and I believe Tyrone Mings, was standing next to him and batted the old man bun that Erling Haaland has, and Haaland laughed and kind of poked him back, and they were having a good time. I think they did kick each other and give each other a shove, but it looked like they were having a good time in this game. And that was fun to see. You've got one of the best English defenders having a good time, smiling, and it showed in his game. He played well. Erling Haaland was having a good time, and he played well. Could only score the 1 goal, which Mings was not at fault for. The ball went out wide. Mings had to get out there and cover. The ball was crossed into the back post. I believe it was Matty Cash and Konza who should have been picking up Haaland as he ghosted into the back and had an easy tap in. With that being said, I thought Villa did a very good job. They scored a nice goal. They were willing to sit back, soak up pressure, and then counterattack. They did it 2 or 3 times. Had a very nice goal by Leon Bailey. Possibly could have had a second by Coutinho when he came on, but it was ruled for offsides.
Leon Bailey's playing. He's healthy.
He's healthy. Can you believe
man.
it? Can you believe it? And he's doing
Listen,
he's
a
doing
good
very well
player
once he
for
gets
Jamaica.
in.
When he's playing with Jamaica and all the other great players they have and that are in MLS and such, like they are a good tough team.
He was a good player for Leverkusen.
He was a good player in Leverkusen too.
Absolutely. I thought he did very well. And Nate, you called it. When he got bought by Villa last year, you said, watch out, this guy could be a great player. And you're not wrong when he's healthy.
What was that again?
Nate was right.
Oh, okay.
Nate was right.
Oh, sorry. That's number 2, right?
Stuttgart goes off.
Is that number 2? That's number 2.
I don't remember giving you credit on the first one.
Oh, you gave me credit earlier. Said I was right.
Let's go with yes. Okay,
So
sure. Why
I'm
not?
like 2 for that's two credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the
Plus
end-
that damn coffee is good that you gave me.
Hey,
I'm awake now.
Now you know why I'm humming all the time.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
For those who are watching, I gave Brooks a little half shot of the thing that I just finished off.
We're gonna
got me.
have to do another Nate's coffee review soon, man, because that first one was pretty good. And
Was this rifle you gave me?
yeah, the Rifle
That was
Coffee was.
Rifle.
Oh,
Hey, man.
shout out to Rifle Coffee.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's Blackbeard's delight right there.
Oh.
Yep.
Yarr. There
Yep.
you go.
If you start to grow a beard, we'll know why.
Halfway through the show, Brooks is
What is
just.
going on? Why? Where did he get a parrot?
He's got a
Why is there a parrot on his shoulder? What's happening?
You have an eye patch now. I don't know.
Brilliant.
Anyways.
All right, next game on the list we should chat about is Chelsea versus West Ham at Stamford Bridge. This game, I will say, right off the bat, we had Christian Pulisic finally starting. Christian Pulisic finally gets into the starting lineup. Thank goodness. He played all right. He did okay. He made a couple of runs. It looks like he hasn't played a lot in the last couple of weeks. That's how he kind of performed today. He struggled to pick out the right passes, but he made some good runs, used his speed. More time on the field is what's needed to see the best of Christian Pulisic, in my opinion. He was subbed around the 60-minute mark. Kai Havertz's late goal lifted Chelsea to all 3 points in this London derby against West Ham. But again, it's VAR that steals the show. Oh, God. How does that goal that West Ham scored to tie this game at 2, how does that not stand? An accidental collision. Mendy comes out, gets the ball, and on his follow-through, he's clipped on the arm slightly by Jared Bowen. Mendy goes down like he shot. He's not going to be able to get to the ball that he just blocked and came out to get. So he goes down like he shot, sells it well. There's not a ton of contact, as I said. West Ham put the ball in the back of the net. It's considered a goal, and then let's VAR it, and then the referee goes and has a look. Again, I don't understand the decision. You've got a man in a box looking at this, and he decides, oh, it's enough for us to take another look at. Let's have the referee, who is standing 10 feet away from it, go have another look. Fine. You know what? Fine. I get the fine. Man who is standing 10 feet away from it, deemed it a goal at first, goes and takes a look at the monitor, says, oh my gosh, look at that. Some contact. A little bit of contact on a goalie. Well, we got to wipe this goal away. That's horseshit. Absolute horseshit. This goal should have stood. David Moyes and West Ham should be pissed off. I saw some of the tweets afterwards. They are pissed off. This was another terrible call. Absolutely terrible by VAR. I just don't get it. Listen, this season is going to come down to the wire with Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal. It's going to come down to 5 or 6, maybe 7 teams who have 1 to 2 points to get into that top 4 or win the title. Games like this, where you take a point away from West Ham and give an additional 2 points to Chelsea, could propel them into a top 4, or hell, they could win the Premiership because of things like this. It's got to stop. There's a lot of money on the line. It's getting past a joke. Again, the best league in the world, the English Premier League, draws in the most money, the most fans, the most eyes watching it. How have we not gotten it right?
How is David Moyes 59 years old, by the way? Have you seen his photo? He looks like he's like 70.
Well, he was at Man United for a couple of years.
I'm
so...
just saying, like, when I was rewatching the game this morning, they showed him a photo, and I was like, how old is this man? I just looked up, he's 59, and I'm like, man.
Does he not look like Mo Sislak? Am I the only one who thinks David Moyes looks like Mo Sislak from The Simpsons?
You want to hear my funny David Moyes story?
Let's hear
It's
it.
very uneventful. But, so when I was at the Euros years back.
In Germany?
In Germany. I was actually in St. Denis. And which none of my coworkers wanted to go with me because that was like months after a bomb went off. And I had to explain to them that if there's one place you want to be, according to movies, which I watch, is with the American. Because, that's the basically the Die Hard scenario right there where, I swoop in and save everyone. Anywho.
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, basically
Okay.
I'm Bruce Willis. Anyways, so I was standing in line getting what was a non-alcoholic beer because they weren't serving any alcohol there. And honestly, here comes walking David Moyes right by with a group of people. And, like, it took me a second. I saw him, and I did, like, a double take. Because he was, in a suit with a little clipboard, I was just like, what? Oh, and before I knew it, like, before I could say anything, because I would have been that guy, like, I don't care how much security you have, I would have tried to ask for an autograph, trying to get a picture. But, like, before I could even, like, do anything, he was already, like, gone, within 3 seconds out of the scene.
Quick, man.
Yeah.
It was quick.
Mo Sislak, fast on his feet, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you got to be.
Got to
Those
be.
phone
Absolutely
calls.
got to be.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, so, again, I think West Ham are robbed. I think I'm very disappointed in VAR. That's just another decision that did not I don't understand how you've got a video assistant replay and we still continue to get these things wrong. The other game where there was another controversial VAR decision, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Now,
did Chris Richards play?
don't believe he got on. I don't believe so.
Why are we even talking about this?
I know.
Let's go to Leeds. He needs to go to Leeds, America. Hannah Pulisic, the giant American team.
I do want to say that they had their Newcastle had their this game, by the way, was up at St. James's Park, ended 0-0. Isaac should have scored in the first half, had a breakaway, tried to kind of dip over the goalkeeper and failed miserably, in my opinion. Just go round the keeper or put a shot on. You can't dip it over the keeper on a breakaway. The VAR decision was in the second half. Ball gets crossed in. Willock from Newcastle is going to head the ball. Crystal Palace goalkeeper is coming out. Willock gets shoved in the back by Mitchell and Willock goes straight into the goalkeeper. They collide. The ball goes off the Crystal Palace defender and into the back of the net. It's a goal. If you want to call anything, it's a foul on the defender for pushing Willock, the Newcastle player, in the box. But no, the goal is ruled off because there was a foul and you can't touch a goalkeeper. Another terrible decision for a team like Newcastle who come down to the end of the year, could be fighting for 6th, 7th, or 5th spot. These 2 points, all 3 points, that could be very valuable to them. Now they only get a point. Crystal Palace get a point. Again, another VAR decision that could ruin the league. It's just disappointing.
So, while we're on the subject, because Michael Tyson brings up a very interesting question that I think we've batted around. Well, we're doing it live now.
That's fine.
So,
I like when we respond to the guys watching.
And by the way, Michael and I are now Facebook friends. I'm just trying to expand my network. I'm trying to find people who actually tolerate me to have a beer with. So
you have friends.
I have no friends. I spent the weekend alone crying in my basement. And I don't even drink. I can't even drink until October 2nd. So I live a very lonely life right now. Anyways.
Your wife loves you.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, come on.
Sometimes she does. She tolerates.
She only loves them on Wednesdays at around 10 o'clock.
Basically, if I do things right. Anyways, he asked, would the league be better without? And my personal opinion, because I've batted this around.
Without VAR? Is that
without VAR.
Without VAR.
VAR.
That's a great question, by the way.
Would the league be better without VAR? Honestly, I think they just treat it wrong. because in the Bundesliga it's treated much differently. It's used as a tool if the ref wants to go take a look, but the ref is the guy still making the calls on the field. There is, in life, a thing called the power of suggestion. It exists. If I tell you to go look for something, if I whisper in your ear, hey, Brooks, you might want to go check that out. I think you missed something. All of a sudden, you might be going, oh, shit, what I missed?
Hey, think about it.
What I missed?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I think you have that going on a lot of times when you have somebody not there making the call from the stand. I think the way it should be treated is as a tool. If the ref wants to go to it, to go to it. Other than that,
And that's what the Bundesliga and MLS refs
Yep.
do. They think about it. They may hear the decision in their headphone, but they on themselves, it's not the person like
I don't
Nate said in
even
the
think
booth.
they hear the decision in the headphones in the Bundesliga. I think it's entirely their decision.
I know in the MLS, I think they ask, "Is it what do you think?" And then they convert. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have someone telling. They can ask.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can
okay.
ask. You can ask like,
It might be-
is it
it might-
reviewable? Do I
yeah.
need to? There's no one from the booth telling
Gotcha.
you need to review
Yeah,
this.
and I think
And I agree with Nate's assessment.
Yeah.
When someone says, hey, you should probably go take a look at it.
Exactly.
The power of,
It does.
what was the phrase you used?
power of suggestion.
Yeah,
It's
and
an actual psychological term.
100%. 100%.
If I tell you to go find, you missed something there. Are you sure you got that? Are you?
You're
I
gonna
think
go
you
back
need to
and
look
look.
at that. Yeah, all of a sudden in your head, you're now looking for stuff that may or may not exist. And
I wonder if the person in the booth is looking at the camera way too much that they don't trust what the person on the field does anymore. Because they want to get every little. I mean, it's become right now in the EPL. It's almost like college football in the NFL, where they review every touchdown, every
Yeah.
little play,
Yeah.
and it kills soccer. And I think that's what a lot of these people, these EPL fans, are
everyone
really
is
upset
forgetting the term to the ref's discretion,
Yeah.
or to what the ref sees,
about. Yes,
and they
well,
want
and clear
this.
and obvious. They don't understand
Yeah,
what
they
that
want
means either.
they want this like perfectly called game, and I think
Yeah.
the fact that the refs have that power to discern what they see on the field based on situational makes a sport special, and the more you go away from that,
Yep,
the bigger the problem.
exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I will say one of the, if you guys remember, I know Nate, I know you remember this.
I remember nothing.
Germany versus England,
Nope.
where Frank Lampard scored that goal. It comes down off the crossbar, goes over the line, and pops back out. Manu Neuer grabs it, throws the ball out like nothing happened.
Oh yeah.
That goal right there, for me, cemented the fact that this sport needs some sort of video replay. It has to, because that would have changed the course of a World Cup game. It would have changed the course of everything in that game if England had actually got that goal legitimately. And it was a goal. The ball went over the line. Right then and there, I said, this sport needs video replay. But the version that we have now of it is not it. And Brooks and Nate are 100% correct. That's 3 there. Yeah, we need to start writing this down on the board. But you guys are 100% right.
We have like a gold star.
MLS?
board. How many times we get things right?
And
need it.
Bundesliga get VAR correct. They do it right. And for some reason, the best league in the world, where the most money is spent and accumulated, gets it wrong. Gets it wildly wrong. It's very disappointing to see.
I think VAR also gets a really bad name because the EPL, the biggest league in the world, screws up it so much that people are like, this is something that should never be done in soccer. But
I don't know. I mean,
I get upset. I mean, the worst was I wanted when CONCACAF with Champions League and everything, every time the MLS teams played League MX teams, there's always something that needs to be reviewed. Like when LAFC played Club America, and God, who was it? They went. He tried. He like fake headbutted Ochoa, and Ochoa just flopped. And I was like, he didn't even touch the guy. Like that needed to be VAR, but they didn't have it in CONCACAF back then. Now they have it. Like it's those little things that like I wish they had then. But I just think with the biggest league in the world, they're making a mockery of it. That everyone's like, this should be taken out of the game completely. Whereas if you, as like Nate and I said, if you watch MLS and Bundesliga and how they interpret things and you let things play on, or they come back and review it. I mean, they kind of take a second, to be honest with you, is, hey, there's a foul. Let's let it play on, kind of like they did with the goal today with Eriksson. And but the problem is the EPL stops it so quickly sometimes.
And the VAR happens like this
Exactly.
in Germany because it's not somebody. That person's not looking for something. They already know what they think they missed.
Yes.
They're running over to get a second look.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like 10 seconds.
Because it was clear and obvious error. People say clear and obvious. Is it a clear and obvious error by the referee? That's the question. And today, for me, for the Eriksson thing, that was not a clear and obvious error to me.
Okay.
That,
I agree.
So Jason's got something. How do you feel about VAR when they try and use it to see if it is offside on a goal? The micro freeze frame.
That is
laser.
That is EPO to the T right there.
Yeah.
His sleeve was offsides. Like it doesn't work. Like
That drives me
MLS and
absolutely
Bundesliga,
nuts.
I think don't really. I mean,
They don't use it unless
they don't use it to a T. They use the offsides, but they don't look up like the arms offsides or the finger.
I can't wait for the offside ball to be in play in Qatar.
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong here.
Exactly.
Nothing will go.
Oh, we are in
Maybe
trouble
they should have
with
Bundesliga and
Qatar.
MLS refs
There's
for the
trouble with that
World
offside
Cup.
rule.
Maybe it should be only Bundesliga and MLS refs.
It's gonna be great.
Oh.
Our ball malfunction, didn't catch it. And why did the ref call it? We were looking for the ball. It's gonna be the giant shit show rolled in one. Here comes the shit show.
It's too hot out here. Come on, let's go.
Can't breathe.
All right.
My big clouds.
Let's move on. We do have another instance in a couple of matches here where VAR, I think, got it right. But before that, I want to get to the Merseyside derby. I do want to talk about Everton and Liverpool from Goodison Park today. This game was back and forth. This was a great Merseyside derby. Everton stepped up and really played well. Liverpool, oh boy, they are on a little bit of a slide this year, not playing as well as we have come to know from the past several years. There's probably some reasons for that. Let's talk about it. The woodwork was rattled 3 times in the first half. Both goalkeepers on their toes. Jordan Pickford, for me, man of the match, played out of his mind. Got some great saves, man. Fingertip, toes, you name it. I will say, I think Klopp has changed tactics this year. He's got Nunez in. He's got rid of Mane. It looks like Salah's gone wide right even more. Nunez fills the middle. We're whipping balls in high, whipping them in to try to get Nunez on the end of. This is not something Liverpool has done in the past. They've always had smaller forwards with Mane and Salah. So you can't whip balls high into them because they're not going to win headers. Now all of a sudden, Liverpool are getting the ball wide, and they're not playing it in waist or below. They're playing it in high for Nunez ahead. I don't know why Nunez today had a bus cue. He could not get up and head the ball anywhere near the goal. I think this is a mistake by Klopp, and if it turns out to be right, it's going to take a little bit longer to get right because it's not what is needed, in my opinion. Mo Salah is taking his time getting going this year. Everton got their tactics right. They kept Liverpool in front of them. They broke out, looked like they would have a goal or two, but didn't fall their way. A very valuable point for Everton as they are going to struggle this year, in my opinion. They overpaid for Neil Maupay, who should have had an easy goal, but holy crap, shot it right at Alisson. Just, you paid $25 million for Neil Maupay. I don't understand that.
Has Klopp always had small strikers? Even I think Dortmund. I mean Lewandowski, right? And then
Royce, but he can add a ball.
Yeah, Götze, right?
Yeah,
Götze's
but he's a
not a
midfielder. I don't know.
But him and Pep have always had similar tactics where I don't want to whip in balls high. We want to play condensed and we want to slip guys through, or we want to get a ball on the ground in the box where a guy can get onto it and just tap it in. Like that's always been his style of play.
That's definitely been Liverpool's style of play in the last couple of years, right? When you've got Firmino, who's not going to get up for a header ball. You've got Mane out wide. You've got Salah out wide.
But it's back shoulder runs, finding the space in the box, pulling guys away so you can easily slip the guy in and you just bury it in the back.
Absolutely. That's what it is. Get the ball wide, get the ball in on the ground with a cross, and then hopefully that guy takes 2 touches, slips another guy in, and that's how Liverpool is playing. Liverpool are in trouble this year, Nate.
So there's the people point to the Klopp slide where after
7th year,
7th year slide is that could be what's going on. As far as like target big lumbering forwards, target forwards, big nines. There's not a lot of those in the games anymore, and like Kurt even said, kind of like the DCFC game last night, that, a lot of teams are going in with interchangeable nines that are more quicker and can move in and out.
It's just been the common way. In MLS,
Yeah.
it's the same way. There's not big targets anymore.
It's hard.
Like the Josie Outdoors are gone.
I think it's hard to find those players, and it's easier to find smaller, quicker forwards, and then you can use even. Munich now, what they're doing, they don't have a big target forward, but now they have everyone scoring goals.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, and I think it depends on the strategy. And then Michael even brings up Mo Salah, even on the field, never see him anymore. I mean,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
I had to look several times. I'm like, has he been subbed? Oh, nope, there he is. He's standing out by the touchline, way out wide right. Michael's not wrong because Salah just can't seem to fit in. And he has to because they just signed him to a brand new contract, and he's earning over £350,000 a week. Yeah. He's their top earner. He's got to find a way to get going. Or Klopp's got to work him into the tactics because it is not good right now. Yeah. So don't disagree with you guys. Let's that game again, Merseyside derby, a very good game, a very fun game, a very good point for Everton. So well done to Everton, the Evertonians there. Some other games that happened, Leicester and Brighton Hove Albion.
Seagulls, my team.
Brooks is now a Brighton Hove Albion fan. Graham Potter. Unbelievable the job he's doing. I believe they're up into 5th. We'll look at the table shortly. He's got that team playing really well. And sold Neil Maupay for £25 million, which, holy crap, just that piece of business alone, he did very good. Leicester, though, Brendan Rodgers is under siege. They haven't won a game this year. They are in real trouble.
And they got rid of Schmeichel, which we all disagreed with.
But again, we thought that was probably Schmeichel's decision to leave when he saw this pile of shit team being put on the field.
Maybe that was him. He's like,
I still think there's some type of distant relative that lives in the French area. That's the only thing I can think of.
Tenance.
It's only I can't put any because it's just such a remote fucking thing. Like,
it is very remote.
Why not like half a dozen? You could go
pick up a winery in Italy if you
go
want.
to Germany. There's many teams that would have took him in Germany. Are you kidding me?
Oh man.
And he would have played Champions League football in Germany. I can think of one or two teams that he could have easily gone to.
He's going to try to be a wine connoisseur after his playing days are done.
They wouldn't have took him. Leverkusen would have.
Yeah.
Leverkusen absolutely would have.
But so and then they also went and sold begrudgingly. They sold Fofana to Chelsea for $75 million. He wanted out, and that's a lot of money.
Use that money at the winter transfer window.
They're going to have to. But by that time, I think there'll be a new manager. I think Rodgers is not only on the hot seat right now. If he makes it to next weekend, I'll be a little surprised.
Hasn't he always been linked to other jobs?
He always has. Always has.
Like it's always been like one foot out the door, kind of.
Manchester United at one point.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever had the idea of I want to go as long as I can at this club until they kick me out. Like it's always been one foot in, one foot out. I feel like.
I think Brendan Rodgers is overrated. I'm sorry. What has he ever done?
Yeah, he kind of had that one good.
Well, he won a bunch of trophies up in Scotland.
Sweet.
Hey,
doesn't count for
Premier
shit.
League's
I know.
A good league. Come on.
It's an okay league.
He's got into Champions League in Europe, but come on.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
I think he's an okay coach. I think he's in a great spot at Leicester.
Did he have 1 or 2 good seasons at Liverpool?
He had 1 or 2 good seasons.
Wasn't that the one season with the Gerrard slip up where he almost won the Premier League that year? Unfortunately,
that was it. Yeah.
So
slip up.
He's had success, but he's never kind of he's not in that Klopp, Pep, Guardiola.
Right. Yeah. And I think he's going to be out of a job really quick.
Sure.
They have to play Villa next week, and Villa, after a great showing at Man City, might be getting things going and clicking there. So.
Do you hear biasness in this?
Do I hear what? Biasness?
Yeah. Biasness.
I'm still worried. I think Villa could bail him out. I think they could beat Villa, and he could find himself inside of that job still.
It's a word. Yeah.
But Brendan Rodgers, I clicked into the game and it was 2-2 today.
Yeah.
I clicked
a goal by one of the Leicester players, I think, from distance.
Yeah, some real nice goals. And I figured, all right, I got to turn it over for a minute. And I forget what else I was watching. I was watching one of the other games. I turned it back, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, it's 4-2. Leicester just went nuts. And a really nice goal by Brighton that was called off. A really nice goal for, in my opinion, another bad VAR decision. It took a couple of minutes. Another bad VAR decision. the theme. This is the theme of our show. We got to get to a break in a couple of minutes so I can have a drink and calm down because VAR is just killing me. Anyway, Leicester 2, Brighton Hove Albion 4 was that. Brentford Leeds, also another good game. Leeds and Jesse Marsh coming down to earth on this one. Brentford.
Did you see what the Brentford coach said about Aronson, though, in his press conference?
I did not. Go ahead and
there's a video on social media. I mean, he said what a hell of a player he is, and what a pickup he is for Leeds, and he gave him high praise. So
I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't not. The kid's playing well.
Yeah,
he is doing he's taking the league by storm. And I didn't give him credit. I thought it's going to take him a year or two to get up to speed to really get into this. But credits of Jesse Marsh and Leeds.
I called it the whole time, didn't I?
We're going to go back and look at the video. We're going to go back and look at the video there.
I said he'll be fine.
I thought it was too much of a step for him, to be honest with you.
I said he'll be fine
Adams.
based on how he performed in the Champions League with Salzburg against big teams like Munich. And he was a player and star player of the match that game against a superior opponent.
They were really competitive.
I will say that does sound familiar by Nate. Yeah. That does sound familiar. I think at this point I'm just gonna have to start clapping for you because
when I get to 5, do I get a free hot dog?
You can take back one of the snacks that you gave Brooks.
That I can't eat, and I'll just stare at it.
Did you say a hot dog? You want a free? You wouldn't. If someone gave you a hot dog, you wouldn't eat it.
I just want food.
You just want real food.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
give you a beer.
Back to I think Leeds and Jesse Marsh have now come back down to earth. They were humbled by Brentford. Ivan Toney with a hat trick, and he could have had 4 goals. And if you don't know who Ivan Toney is, you better learn his name because he can score goals by the bucket load. And statistically, he is the best penalty kick taker in the world. He has only missed 1 out of 25 penalties that he has taken. He scores. I love the way he takes penalties. He keeps his eye on the goalie, and it's a 2-step run up, bang, into the back of the net. The kid can play. In this game, Jesse Marsh received a red card.
Being a potty mouth.
Yep.
He has a mouth on him, dude. He gets going.
There's a plague of American coaches getting red cards and ejected from games.
A plague? Do explain.
We'll get to it.
Oh, maybe
Not Bob Bradley.
Not Bob.
Not Bob. We'll get to it in the later segments.
He's an international. Okay, yeah.
We'll get to that in the later segments. But
Bob just keeps it to himself.
Leeds are humbled, brought back down to earth. I think they've got some work to do. Are they running out of speed? Because Brentford kind of played them at their own game. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Take advantage of mistakes. And Brentford came out the winner. Leeds kind of, like I said, just got beat at their own game. Really fun game to watch, though, I will say. Other games that happened this weekend in the Premiership. Nottingham Forest 2, Bournemouth 3. Tottenham 2, Fulham 1. Mitrovic showing that his third time around in the Premiership is proving to be worthy. He is a good player, as Holy Diver on the Facebook group pointed out.
Did Jedi Robinson get hurt in that game? Was the one
I didn't actually see if he got hurt. Did he?
He did. So that's not good for U.S. men's national team. So that's a weak position.
You'll be fine.
I'm just saying. All right.
If they call up Scully.
Scally. Nate seems to have trouble with names.
Pronouncing names just to piss you off.
Always.
I'm not going to say always. 50-50 shot.
50-50 chance he's going to get it right. 50-50 chance he's going to get it wrong and piss off Brooks.
Boom.
Love it. All right. But there was some more VAR controversy in this game. Is it offsides? Is it onside? Is it his toe that's offsides? Is it elbow that's offsides? It's just, we got to figure this out. We got to figure this VAR stuff out. It's getting bad. Other scores, Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Why don't we show the EPL table real quick? Leading the way, even though they lost at Man United today, is Arsenal with 15 points. Man City behind them on 14 points with a plus 14 goal difference, best in the league. Down at the bottom with 1 draw and 1 point, Leicester City. 19th, you've got Nottingham Forest with a win and a draw at 4 points. West Ham, as I said, a point would have been valuable for them. Since they lose at Chelsea, they are 1 win, 1 draw after 6 games on 4 points. My Villa at 17 with 1 win and 1 draw, also on 4 points. Man United all the way up to 5th with those 3 points winning this weekend. They got 12 points, 4 wins, 2 losses. Chelsea right behind them on 10 points. Liverpool, 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss on 9 points. Leeds kind of fall back down to earth a little bit. As we said, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. They have 8 points.
By the way, did you guys enjoy the one meme of the Nottingham Forest one where it's like all the team buses and there's 3 of them?
Yes.
Because they've had so many people.
I loved that one. Also, I've seen the team picture where there's like 100 lined up. And if anybody doesn't know, it's because Nottingham Forest went out and signed 21 different players during the summer transfer window. That's what happens when you get to the Premiership and you've got to buy new players. You've got £100 million sitting in your bank because you got promoted. You got to spend it. Let's go. I got money burning in my pocket. Let's go spend this. And Nottingham Forest certainly did. With that being said, I don't think it will help them.
Bad business tactics.
I still think they get relegated. I think they'll be bottom of the division come May, and Nottingham Forest will be relegated at the end of the year. At some point, we do have to do our predictions of who's going to win the league and who's going to get relegated. That probably not this week.
Probably going to win the league. I mean, that's.
I put money on them in the middle of the summer for City. Yeah, I mean, it's easy money, right?
Welcome to the Farm League, boys.
Welcome to the Farm League, as Nate likes to call it. The Farm League that did spend $2.2 billion, breaking the previous record of $1.86 billion. Sorry.
It's going to win
don't have rules. What?
Yeah. No, and the Bundesliga team's going to win the UEFA Champions League.
Pretty much in Europa. Here we go.
We got like 5 chances,
conference.
Right? 4 or 5? Yeah.
More. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. All right, coming up on the other side of our break here, we'll talk Team of the Week by Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer. We've got a little Bundesliga chat. We've got some MLS chat. And then we'll talk Detroit City FC. And we'll have a little bit of fun. You got to see a picture that I found this weekend of a hot tub at a soccer game.
Uh-oh.
2 dudes in a hot tub.
Brooks.
At a soccer game.
How great is the picture of us?
Oh, man. Oh, no. Right down at the Jacksonville
boy.
Stadium where the Jaguars play, they have a hot tub.
They've got a hot tub, but this one's at a soccer game.
Maybe that's where Tim Tebow's going to play his games when they start.
We should talk about that. Tim Tebow buying into USL Championship.
Yeah.
Why are so many celebrities buying into soccer? We'll talk about that and much more as we come back from this 5-minute break. Go ahead and get yourself a beer, get yourself some chips, and we'll return shortly. All right, kids, welcome back. Hopefully you grabbed a beer, water, a glass of wine, some snacks, although Brooks has all the snacks in the world and he's not sharing. I really am hungry myself watching him eat. Big We Are Soccer. Congratulations to our friend Brent Claudio and his new wife, Julie. They got married this weekend. Congratulations, guys. Brent is a huge Chelsea fan. And they got 3 points for him. A little bit of luck with a VAR, as we talked about, but good stuff for Brent and Julie. We'll talk when you guys get back.
It's giving me evil eye over here because I have a Honduras jersey on. Honestly, I could have had a Mexico jersey on. That would have been worse.
And I could just punch you in the face.
Oh.
All right. No punching, boys. No punching. All right, why don't we jump in? And we're going to do the We Are Soccer and Michigan Soccer Central Team of the Week. If I can find my notes here. All right, this week's Team of the Week is the Allen Park High School Varsity Boys Soccer Team. Well done. Why did they get voted to be the Team of the Week?
Well, they don't wear Honduras jerseys.
They do not wear Honduras jerseys.
The Team of the Week for me.
Their colors are green. Okay.
Colors are green.
Mexico.
Let's put up that Team of the Week there. There you go. There's a nice picture of the Team of the Week. The Allen Park High School Varsity Boys Soccer Team provided outstanding community service for cleaning up the Benny Courtyard. The team cut, bagged, weeded, and got the area ready for next week's open house. So as you can see, it's not about on the field sometimes. It's about what you do in your community, how you can help people around you. They did a great job. So Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer Team of the Week, the Allen Park High School Varsity Soccer Boys Team. Congratulations, boys. Well done. If you would like your team or know a team that could be the Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer Team of the Week, please nominate them. We want nominations. We want to hear who you should feel needs to be shouted out by us. We love to hear about all the teams in the state and the Metro Detroit area who are doing good things, not only on the field, but as you can see, off the field. All right, Brooks, I know we do a lot of stuff with Michigan Soccer Central. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what they've got coming up in the next week here?
Yes. So Robert Kerr, who hosts the podcast, just sent me some notes on who he has coming on the show this week. So he's got full post-game interviews from DCFC's head coach / GM, Trevor James, and also Brad Dunwell will be on the podcast as well.
Very nice.
He's got a little college soccer talk, little high school notes, and he's got plenty of other Michigan soccer updates that are happening around the great state of Michigan. So please, we're on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like the pages, listen to the podcast. It's a good one. Robert does a lot of work with that, spends a couple hours a week getting interviews and putting it together. So take a listen and be informed about everything soccer going on in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. Michigan Soccer Central does a great job locally in the state of Michigan here, the Metro Detroit area, talking about local soccer, high school, youth, club, whatever it is. They talk about it. It's good. Before we jump in and talk Bundesliga with Nate, I do want to give a quick shout out. We did it last week. John Turner and Steve Besk do a great job on Michigan Soccer Network. Go ahead and give them a watch. Some of the games, if you're into the high school soccer, if you're into a lot of that stuff, go ahead. They do a top 15 of each division show that is live on Sundays at 8 o'clock. I did not get a chance to watch this week. I was preparing for our show, but I am going to watch on their YouTube channel a little later. All right, Nate, let's do this. Bundesliga, my friend. Bundesliga chat time.
When it's getting late and you got no friends and no one to drink with and you can't drink because you're prepping for a show, it's Bundesliga chat time.
And Brooks wears a Honduras jersey.
And it makes you mad.
With
Craig.
Oh, boy. With Craig. All right, buddy, tell us, what's the thoughts on the Bundesliga and the results this weekend?
Lots of controversial games, lots of VAR issues as well. No. Actually,
No,
but we had a great set of games. I think the best game right off the bat was Freiburg versus Leverkusen, which was one of the more entertaining games this week, where Leverkusen came out, had a score. Freiburg came back in the second half through probably a pep talk there of one you would never expect, because they popped in 3 goals and ended up nail-biting, squeaking through a 2-3 game that was actually highly entertaining, highly close, and very fun to watch. Frankfurt dump trucked Leipzig. I think that Leipzig coach is about to get fired real quick.
Oh boy.
Frankfurt dump trucked him 4-0. It wasn't even a match. Leipzig looked bad. They looked bad. Frankfurt looked really good, which is good for them, and they're one of the teams going to be playing in the Champions League this week, and I'll get to that a little bit more.
I think Trapp stayed.
Yeah, no, he definitely stayed, and they're looking really, really good, which is good for them. Union Berlin versus Munich. I know, Craig, I think you watched that game as well with me, or just not with me, but on the side.
Yep, I watched it. We were texting about it.
Yep. And Berlin came out and they basically put in place what I like to call the Gladbach strategy. And the Gladbach strategy is, well, we're not going to really play you, and we're just going to kind of sit here and defend to the point where I think Munich had 75% possession, 21 total shots, 6 on target.
Ouch.
Union actually scored first, and was
Pifak to start though.
Pifak did not start because he was injured with a muscle injury.
Correct.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was really unfortunate for him.
So he was on the bench only because of muscle injury, not because of performance, unlike some other players. Ricardo Pepi.
Last week's discussion. Thank you.
Yep. And so, it was unfortunate for him, but I think even the strategy wouldn't have worked to have 2 strikers, the way they're holding back and holding in. And in the end, both Union and Munich's keepers made basically game-winning saves that could have saw the result either way. So that was a very good match defensively.
Freiburg's at the top of the table?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a
Dortmund,
second. Way to cut ahead. Just wait a minute there, buddy.
We got a clip of the table in a minute. Yeah,
Yep.
when Nate's ready. Ready.
On a heartfelt game message, Hertha 2-0 over Augsburg. This is why it's heartfelt. Richter, 90+3 goal, scored. And it was his first match after being diagnosed with testicular cancer 50 days prior.
Wow.
So he is a little sign maybe of hope for Sebastian Haller, who's now dealing with the same thing. It was a great match for him. It was against one of his former team, I believe, as well, for him to come in as a sub and actually score that clinching goal to kind of see him through. Big controversy with Gladbach and Mainz. Big controversy. Big VAR controversy where they actually went to the tape, and guess what, Craig? Wouldn't you know?
It worked.
They
got
it right.
They got the right call.
They
got the call correct.
And that led to
the Bundesliga got the call correct.
1-0 win where the ball deflected off of a Gladbach player. The ref took a look at it and said, yep, deflected off the Gladbach player, playing the Mainz player on, and 1-0 goal. No issues, actually.
No issues.
No controversy. Imagine that. Crazy. Anyways, to round off this Bundesliga chat time week before we get into snacks, before we get into league standings and what teams are playing in the middle in Europe, Stuttgart versus Schalke battled to a 1-1 tie. Stuttgart was actually without their head coach because he got a red card
in the previous game or in this game.
He got a red card last week, which brings me to my question to you guys. In the modern game, is it really that big of a deal for a coach not to be on the field? Part of me says no. You have these things called cell phones. You have this thing called like live video, and I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine that hard. Like as I text Brooks or somewhere to go, like, hey, that's a shit fucking play. I'm sure they could do the same. There's nothing preventing it on the sideline. So do you really need the coach there?
I love the question. I absolutely love the question.
Yeah. What impact is
I'm
that?
going to let Brooks answer first because I do have my version or answer to it, but I'll let Brooks go ahead and answer first. Is a coach needed on the field?
Is a red card for that coach really that detrimental to have somebody step in?
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, in today's game, I've personally for me is that like I've talked about before, like with the EPL players. I mean, Bundesliga top players, you can let these guys play and they can figure it out themselves. You don't need someone there to joystick a professional player.
What if I told
Kind
you?
of like what, unfortunately, Arteta and Guardiola do a little too much, but they just have very, very tough tactics and
Sure.
specific things they want players to do. I don't know. I just feel like pro players can figure things out.
What if I told you that Stuttgart went down to 10 men because the one player decided to mouth off and get a yellow card and then got a second?
I think your assistant coach is very
Good
capable
of
of
him.
putting in
Good
the
of
right
him.
player.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. Like you miss some camaraderie a little
Yes.
bit, right? And like, whatever you want to say about when your head coach isn't there, But listen, it just depends who the head coach is, right?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I absolutely get where you're coming from. Nate, do you want to answer that question? Or you want me to go?
Personally, I don't think you need it. VJ here, I see what Nate's saying, but having a coach face there is a big impact to, I think. And then he even goes, then why even have a coach at all if, I see the point there. I mean, sometimes you need that motivational guy on the sideline. I just wonder if, my thing is I wonder if you could do a harsher penalty. Is that now enough, right? If this is going to be a common thing. Is there something else you could do?
Well, okay.
As a different punishment.
Before we delve into if that is a harsh enough penalty, I am going to 100% disagree with you both. I think it is a very harsh penalty to have a coach sent off. I think yes, they are professionals. Yes, they've implemented tactics in a game, but there's a reason that Arteta and Pep Guardiola joystick their players. That's in a non-sexual way, FYI. Tell their players where to be, get around, move, whatever it is. I think it is so important to have a coach who can react to what is happening and how the other team is adjusting to your tactics. I think there's a reason that he's the head coach and manager and not an assistant. And one other reason is, I know you guys said that, sure, he could be, sitting in the back room with a cell phone, but if you've ever watched... If you've ever watched a game on TV, you don't get to see the whole pitch. You only get to see probably at most a third to a half, right? So for a manager, he's got to see the whole pitch. And if the ball's on the offensive end, he's got to tell his defenders, listen, move up, condense that space, get closer to that man. The other team is now taking, instead of one man up top, they've put two, adjust please. I think it is very crucial, and I believe a coach is needed, and there is a big reason the coaches get pissed off and cannot be on the sideline when they get sent off or after getting a red card.
So I would say nowadays, I believe a lot of stadiums have different cameras in there, so the coaches don't have to use for film sessions. They have to use the TV video. They have cameras set up around the stadium to see that, and you can see that you can watch go in and watch the game live from each camera and switch between each camera.
In-game changes, and Nate, I know you as a coach have done this as well as I have. You've changed tactics not for an entire team, but for a player or two, or a line, a defensive line, or a midfield line, or a forward line. You've changed and asked them to do something different, and that happens in moment, in game. So I do think it is very important. I love the question. I think it's great. I think it's a good disagreement we're having, and it's a good discussion, but I do think it is a big disadvantage when the coach gets sent off.
Also brings up a point here on Facebook is you game plan the day before, right? You game plan the week before. So how much
situational?
How much are you gonna?
But how often I mean, it's like my work day, right? I got a game plan of what I'm going to do the next day. I show up at work and I get one phone call and whoop, game plan went out the window and I got to change and adjust.
I think, and this is where VJ agrees with you, but I also think it also depends on the coach. He says, Craig, 100% agree. You still need that facet of a coach. A pro player knows what he needs to do, but a coach is the head. I mean, if you have a coach like an Alex Ferguson or a Pep who are super motivated, but at the same time, speakerphone. I mean, you laugh, but I'm serious. Like,
Yeah.
Interesting thing that came up. So to kind of round out the Bundesliga here, you have a handful of teams: Bochum, Wolfsburg, Stuttgart, Schalke. They haven't won a game yet. So those are the 4 teams that have not won a game. Coincidentally, Stuttgart's sitting 12th. Even though they haven't won a game, they've tied like 4, in a row.
Hey, you got a point.
So they're struggling, but that's going to catch up to them.
Yep.
And you have several coaches that I would consider on the hot seat. Leipzig's coach is on the hot seat. Bochum's coach for sure on the hot seat. Wolfsburg's coach could be on the hot seat if they don't turn it around here. So those will be interesting things to watch as the season goes on, because in the Bundesliga they don't tolerate crap and actually fire guys right away when they're underperforming. Top of the table, yep, you got Freiburg, Dortmund, Munich, Union. So we're going to stop the league now. Freiburg is the champions. Good on them. And it's not a farm league anymore. Fuck all you. So we're done. Good. Piss off. No. So it'll be interesting how this shapes up. I know Munich there's been a lot of criticism right now since they've drawn 2 in a row. Midweek.
What if Munich win the Champions League but don't win the Bundesliga?
That's my dream. I told you that constantly. That's like the dream that that Nate has. Anyways, that was a dream last year. It's still a dream this year. Champions League games, because we have a lot of games, a lot of German teams playing. About 8 of them right now playing in Europe. So Champions League for the week: Dortmund, Leverkusen, Munich. Frankfurt and Leipzig are playing in the Champions League this week. And then Europa will see Freiburg and Union square off at home, not against each other, but hosting matches against teams. And the conference, Cologne will fly out to Nice. And these will be interesting games for all 8 of these teams. I think most of them are really poised to move on and get out of their group in Europe. And if Union keep playing how they're playing, they'll be a powerhouse in Europa. That'll be good for them.
Is the Pokal Cup coming up? Isn't round 2 coming up as well?
Round 2 is
soon?
coming up. The games were announced, and I posted them online. So those will be some fun matches to watch coming up here.
Yep.
What's nice is Stuttgart is hosting, both Stuttgart teams, Kickers, and Stuttgart are hosting matches within the city. And Stuttgart Kickers is the lesser-known lower division team of Stuttgart, but Frankfurt are going to actually have to play at home in their stadium, which will be a little bit of a shock for them, just like the FA Cup in Europe. It's going to be a smaller stadium, smaller pitch, and it'll be interesting to see how they go.
That's what's fun. Adjust. That's what's fun about these. That's what's fun about these tournaments, right? You got the Pokal Cup in Germany. You got the FA Cup in England. You got the U.S. Open Cup here in the USA.
It's the biggest of them all.
The absolute biggest of them all.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Those little stupid moose cups and everything.
And honestly, with the Pokal,
that's what's fun about these. The big boys got to go to the smaller division clubs and play in these little tiny stadiums that are beat up, and the fans are all over them, right?
In Hamburg, getting to travel to Leipzig, that could actually see a result that could be in Hamburg's favor because of how much Leipzig is struggling here. So it'll be interesting, and the matches are up. There's nothing that I think is too crazy as far as like, wow, it'll be like out of the blue matchup. But we'll see how those lower end teams fare when like Mainz travels to VfB, whatever they are, because I can't read that low third division team that they get to play. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of cups around the world, we were going to do a little bit of MLS Roundup, but before we do MLS Roundup, why don't we jump in and talk about the U.S. Open Cup?
Yes.
Because what we have coming up this week is, all right, let me just tell everybody. All right, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, commonly known as the U.S. Open Cup, is a knockout competition in men's American soccer. Yay. It is the oldest ongoing national soccer competition in this country. And teams like local Detroit City FC get entered into it. Teams from the MLS get entered into it. So it's all levels of soccer. Everything. It is actually great. I think I have actually competed in this at a very low level. I never personally got to compete against, I got a little friend flying around here. I never got to compete against an MLS team, but I have friends who have competed against MLS teams in this US Open Cup, and it is phenomenal. And we have the final coming up this week. MLS team Orlando City playing at home and hosting Sacramento Republic FC. Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Brooks, is this a good thing?
8 o'clock.
Is it 8 o'clock?
I have here on MLS's website, 8 p.m.
Ooh, I was on soccernet.com and it said 7, but either way, it's Wednesday, either 7 or 8. Is it a good thing that a lower division team like this has made it to the final? Does it hurt? Does it hurt U.S. soccer? Does it help U.S. soccer? What's your thoughts?
Oh, of course it's a good thing that the lower division team makes it to the final of a huge Open Cup tournament.
They are giant killers. They beat what 2, maybe 3 MLS teams to get here. 3 is it?
They've been 3. So
that's crazy.
Galaxy.
That at Galaxy, right? That was at the Galaxy. That was a big win. Yes.
Galaxy, SKC.
I thought San Jose too.
And San Jose. I think they beat all 3 of those teams. Not in that order. I think it was San Jose, LA, or LA, San Jose, and then SKC.
And Sacramento is a USL championship team, so one level below the MLS.
Yes.
But they are giant killers. They've killed 3 MLS teams. They make it to the final. There's not a lot of people who are giving them a chance here at Orlando City this Wednesday.
As Kirk mentions here on Facebook, by the way, that the Rochester Rhinos were the last lower division tier team to win the U.S. Open Cup as well.
I would say, when was the last time?
If I'm not mistaken, and I believe it was 99, maybe
Kurt,
early 2000s.
Let us know when. Let us know when it was. Seems to be the guy who knows.
Guess who was a part of that team? Yes, Pat Onstedt. Yes, just as Kirk Johnson said. And Pat is now the GM of the Houston Dynamo.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So, you were friends with.
Well, I don't want to say close friends, but we're acquaintances.
I would say close personal friend.
Yes.
Let's go with close personal friend, right, Nate?
Yes.
I mean, when you say you're friends, I mean it's close personal friend.
Best friends.
Obviously, best friend.
Yeah,
birthday cards.
Friends, but that's what I heard from
FaceTiming a lot. I absolutely get it.
Anyways, for me though, for this Open Cup, I think it is huge if a team like Sacramento can beat Orlando City, because it speaks to the volume that I think sometimes a lot of these college soccer players and youth players want to go play for MLS teams right away.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that a lot of these USL Championship teams are competitive enough where they can start their career there or not be afraid to go there and then play their way into maybe an MLS team down the road. So I think this speaks volumes for me that it's extremely important that USL Championship teams do well in this competition, as well as other lower division teams.
Nate's holding his hand up. Yes,
oh boy!
Nate? Oh boy! You've got next.
I agree with Brooks, but for a different reason.
Let's hear it.
If you agree with me, and I'm 4 or 5?
You are 4. You have 4. You are correct
4 stars?
today. 4
Okay.
stars today. Yeah.
One away from the
I think competition always pushes and makes everyone better.
Correct.
MLS right now, or at least in the past, had no competition.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
With a strong USL, and as USL, and I think they can become stronger, I think that will make MLS, force MLS, if you will, to become better and to do different things. I'm not sure if pro relegation will ever be a thing. Sorry, I just don't see it. But it will push them to be better. And I think if you have another league, and hey, if USL wants to do pro relegation, why not? It gives competition and makes things better. And I think it's in ESPN's interest.
Yes.
Because they're losing MLS.
To Apple
and
TV.
They might, who knows, dump money into USL.
That means they can
push up, and then make that even a better league. And quite frankly, I enjoy watching USL games. I think you look around, not even just at home with the DCFC, but if you look around the league, you have some very interesting teams that play that are very competitive, and they are in some very nice stadiums.
You bring up a great point.
And they have about the same amount of teams as MLS.
Yes.
They just need a push.
Yeah.
They need a sponsor. So I saw Neo Rule today before the Oakland game, because he calls Oakland matches. I was out at Oakland playing Butler tonight at 7 p.m., save for half. But him and I talked about it, and I mentioned him that USL is not far away. They just need some bigger sponsors to sponsor leagues so they can inject more money into the league for these teams now. maybe to buy certain players or to invest in scouting and talent ID or to invest in academies, which some have, but not everyone has. So I think if USL can do that, then it'll be really interesting to see how these teams then compete further down the road in US Open Cup against these MLS teams. Because these MLS teams in the early rounds don't want to play their top players. Some don't care, some do, but they usually don't want to play their top players until the later rounds of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. I do love the competitive piece you put in, Nate. Yeah. So maybe give yourself a 5th star there. Good noodle stars. Yes. The more competition, the better it's going to be. Again, as Nate said, there is not going to be promotion and relegation in the MLS because the owners who've bought in and bought into the MLS for the tune of $300 million, the franchise fee, they love the fact that there's never going to be promotion and relegation. So they're going to pick up the same amount of money every year and not have to worry about it. That's a great thing for them. I love the fact that a USL Championship team has made it to the final, and they could very well kill an MLS team, a 4th one on their run to on the way to winning here.
So I say slay, not kill. Kill to me means to destroy. Yeah. They want to stay versus Goliath. Let's slay them.
Wouldn't it be fun if they won 5-0? Then you'd go with kill, right?
Yes. Yes.
They're not built like that, from what I understand. Sacramento. I did listen to.
I watched them play at DCFC. They're very much 3 back, 3-5-2. Getting forward.
And we'll talk DCFC in about a minute and a half here because that is a hot topic as well.
Yeah.
So with Kurt, you said little club could beat big club, just like local club team around Detroit area. And with that, I'm putting my hat in, put my money where my mouth is. 2-1 Sacramento. Ooh. And I like MLS, but hey, fuck MLS in this Wednesday. Sacramento is going to get the job done. 2-1, close game. They're going to be the champions.
I like the prediction.
Me to decide that because
you're wearing a Honduras jersey.
No, that's not why. Jeez. Because if you look at the standings here, Orlando's sitting 5th. Everything is very close right now. So you're Oscar Pereira, and you're like, well, shit. If I don't make the playoffs, I need to win something. Because I made the playoffs. Gotta
win something. It's all about trophies.
I made the playoffs last year for the first time in the club's history. I need to come away with something. I think he's going to play all his starters. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be close, but I think Orlando may come away with the victory.
You know what's not in standings, Craig?
What's that?
Your motherfucking heart! Sacramento, baby! Woo! Ain't no heart in standings!
Ain't no part of the Sacramento party.
And with that, I do want to ask, all right, so we got Nate's prediction, 2-1 Sacramento. Brooks, what is going to be your prediction? You think Orlando comes away with this?
I'll say...
They got a strong team.
Yeah, I will say...
And it's at home.
It is, and they're playing at home. And they've played actually every U.S. Open Cup game at home.
Those lucky bastards.
I know, right? Like,
you lucky bastards, Orlando. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I think VJ said 2-0 Orlando. I'm going to say, agree with them, 2-0 Orlando.
All right.
Well, knowing our track records of picking right teams and score lines, we're both going to somehow be wrong. Can another team magically win it?
I suck at picking things. So
we're so bad at it. So, like, Aston FC will somehow magically win. Just as said.
I know. I suck at picking score lines.
That's
why I don't bet on games.
That's all right. All right, let's jump in, and we mentioned it right there. Another USL Championship team, local USL Championship team, Detroit City FC. They played last night. They played Indy 11. 6,048 people. Attendance was a little low, I think, because of the Labor Day weekend here. Normally, Detroit City been getting above 7,000 plus per game. A little low, as we said, at 6,048, but bumped into a lot of people yesterday, myself at the game. It was fun. It was a good game. 0-0 draw at home again for Detroit City. One of the owners of Detroit City did let me in on a little fact that Detroit City haven't won a home game since May 21st. That's a long time.
A lot of draws.
That's a long time. A lot of draws, a couple of losses in there. That's not fun. But Detroit City been playing good soccer. One of the things...
They've had a lot of away games.
They've won away games. Don't get me wrong. They've won...
They had a front-loaded home schedule, and they had a lot of away games lately.
Absolutely. Yeah. They have, in my opinion, I don't know what happened yesterday because They had Pato up front, and then they subbed him off around the 75th, 80-minute mark. They put Yazid up top, and he's a big player. Detroit City went to cross a lot of balls yesterday, and everything was on the ground. I don't know if they just couldn't get their foot under the ball or what, but everything was on the ground. When you've got Pato and you've got Yazid in there as your striker, your target man, you got to play the ball in the air for the head, and Detroit City didn't seem to get that done. Nate, you look like you want to say something.
Well, first thing, a couple things.
Yep.
Didn't make it to the game because I can't figure out life and didn't know if Craig was inviting me or not. So
apologies there.
Yeah, I didn't want to crash the party. But on an awesome note, I actually watched the whole game with my daughter.
Well, hey, on
Watched
TV
it
because
at
it's local.
home.
Yeah.
Was chanting along with the TV because we went to a home game weeks ago. So she's a big fan now.
She's in on it now,
which is awesome from my standpoint, is because obviously I like watching the game, and to have an 8-year-old be thrilled and want to actually watch a game with you is pretty cool. But I thought the game plan kind of worked. I thought Indy 11 were cowards. I mean, I'm sorry, but they basically sat back. They were time wasting. They didn't want to go forward at a certain point, and they were happy with the draw. And at that they didn't want to lose. And I'm sorry, they couldn't afford that. They're outside looking in from the playoff picture. They needed a win, but they just didn't want to lose. And they came. I'll let you continue. Inches. Detroit came inches from actually scoring a goal and pulling it out. And I just strongly disagree with the game plan that they did. If I was an Indy 11 fan, I'd be fucking pissed.
They've been very disappointing.
I would have been.
I thought they were going to be a top.
They have been very disappointing. I do want to say Indy 11 played a full 90-minute match on Wednesday. Yes. They used most of their starters in that game. Yeah. From what I understand, 2 of their main players are in their early mid-30s. Were very tired from that game. And we're on the bench for this game. Yeah. My little friend, the fly, flying around me here. So they were. I 100% agree with you, Nate. Towards the end, it looked like they were stalling, wasting time. The goalie got a yellow card for wasting time.
He got a yellow card for wasting time.
I think they were just happy coming away with a point.
That's bullshit, though. From what?
Away from home for a very valuable point. They need 3 points. I agree.
Wins.
I agree with you.
You go for it. I don't care.
I agree.
And you know what? They took. I thought they played like cowards, in my opinion. You got guys randomly falling on the ground because they needed to be stretched. Fuck off.
Yeah. It's been a tough year for them, and I just think it's spiraling a little bit.
I liked how DCFC played. I thought Maxi Rodriguez was slowing the game down a lot, which my biggest criticism, as I think I told you, Brooke, sometimes, is I feel like they go too fast at times, and they need to just kind of pull it back. And I thought Maxi did a good job of kind of taking a touch and seeing what's open and around, and allowing the game to kind of breathe a little bit, which I think you need to do at times.
I think Detroit City played very well. They just got a little unlucky here and there with some shots.
BJ.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me finish the thought here, then we'll jump to that. Let's take a look at this real quick. Game coming up on September 17th at Keyworth Stadium. If you're looking to go to this game, and I highly recommend you do go to this game because they play Tampa Bay Rowdies, who are one of the best teams in the league. Yes. Nate will be there. Boom. I will be there. Brooks?
I think so.
Brooks may be there, unless he bails at the last minute.
There's a college game. I have to go scout.
If you would like to go to this game, make sure you purchase tickets through our friends at the MUSL. Michigan United Soccer League are selling discounted tickets to this game. Get there. Get your tickets early because this game will sell out. $9 general admission tickets. Scan the QR code, as you can see there.
Do I get a Little Caesars pizza kit with this? Ooh. Like, is it that type of thing where you like the kids sell them for school?
Yes, you do.
Or cookies, or like gift wrapping paper or whatever. I remember they used to make us do that in elementary school.
I got a 50-second rant here based on something that BJ said.
Give me 2 seconds. If you can't make it to that game, make sure you watch on TV because Detroit City is on TV 20 here in Metro Detroit or on ESPN Plus. And for all the away games, get down to the Detroit City FC Clubhouse because all games are on their TVs as they do watch parties. And the last away game, they did $2 shots when there were goals. And I think then the end of that game was 3-0. So lots of fun to be had when you get down to the Detroit City FC Clubhouse for an away game watch party. Nate, go ahead.
Quick, we got to do MLS.
Go ahead.
DJ, and anyone else. It's been like eternity since a Detroit team has been even close to sniffing on a playoff. And even you can't miss any of these games.
No,
they
you
all
cannot.
matter.
All
you got to
matter.
watch them. You got to go to them. If you don't go to them, like Craig said, turn on the TV. Replays on ESPN Plus as well. You can catch them all. And if you're not like Nate and don't have kids, get your ass to the fucking clubhouse, have some drinks and shots. I mean, enjoy life. Don't be like me. I'm miserable. I'm not drinking or eating food, but at least I'm watching DCFC. So we can be comrades in that, and then you can do the stuff I can't, and then tell me how awesome shit is so I can live vicariously through you. Don't tell me you missed the goddamn game.
I was going to say we can live vicariously.
I don't care if you're at the fucking pool, VJ. You got a mobile device.
Mobile device. All right, onwards.
Okay,
All right.
with his kids. I'm sorry.
We are going to talk MLS now with MLS Roundup from Brooks, our MLS expert. He's going to let us know.
MLS.
MLS.
Austin FC.
As Nate wears his Austin FC jersey, I will tell you again, if you're looking for a jersey, whether it's a Honduras jersey like Brooks or an MLS jersey like Nate's.
Don't ever come to anywhere with the Honduras.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. But if you are looking for a jersey,
parents bought
visit
this for me,
soccerworld.net.
okay?
They've got all your
Now
jersey
do it.
needs. You can visit
Yes.
them in store or online, and they've got the jerseys that you want. All right, Brooks, what's kicking this week for MLS Roundup?
Man, there are a lot of interesting matchups this week, and if you look at the standings here, it's close in the Eastern Conference. I mean,
Let's pull those standings up real
Yeah.
quick here and take a look. I'll put them up.
you got some bottom tier teams that made big slip ups, and you had some teams that kind of pushed themselves a little higher. Chicago drawing at Columbus wasn't a great result for the Fire if they wanted to make the playoffs here. Got a Galaxy drawing a couple times, 2-2 against TFC, and then 2-2 tonight against Sporting KC. So, there's a couple of teams here within each conference that are, not really pulling away from anything. Got LA, like I said, the LA Galaxy sitting in 8. Yeah, your Austin FC, they lost in Nashville 3-0.
But honestly, I am rooting for Austin because I think I love what they're doing out there. The fans are great. They're fantastic. I actually went to a game.
Hell of a year they're having there.
100%.
Hell of a
now,
year.
LAFC and RSL are playing currently. So currently we have Seattle and Houston tied 1-1 in the 71st minute.
I did see a headline or a quick notification come through that Chicharito missed a penalty. He tried a Panenka.
Yes, I looked. Yes, he did.
Failed.
And that was for a hat trick.
Oh, that was for his hat trick, and he failed on the Panenka.
And oh my God.
You know what? Let's make sure everybody knows what a Panenka is. It's when the penalty kicker runs up, and instead of shooting it, he just tries to lob it down the middle of the goal, and it can go horribly wrong. And it sounds like this one might have.
In layman's terms, it's when a player thinks they're better than they are sometimes.
I'm going to go with on that. I'm going to agree on that. Yeah. All right, continue on there, Brooks.
Yeah, anyway, so a couple games I watched. FC Dallas at Minnesota. I mean, man, within like a 3-minute and 40-second span, FC Dallas scored 3 quick goals in the second half, and Minnesota just didn't know what hit them. And I don't know, people are on the Minnesota bandwagon train sometimes, and then they're all complaining about how no one likes them, and I mean, geez Louise. Like, I know they sit in 5th, but, I mean, they're keeping it close, man. I mean, Portland's 2 points behind them. RSL, we're playing LAFC right now, are only 1 point. LA Galaxy are not far behind them. I think, 5 points? Because 39 to 44, that's 5, right? I can do math. Right?
Mm-hmm. Math is hard.
I know, yes. Seattle are 10 points away, but, I mean, there could be a huge swing at the end of the season if teams don't win or get points at the end of the season.
Yep.
But, man, FC Dallas looked good. I mean, we talked U.S. men's national team last week. Ferreira, movement inside and outside the box and coming back to find the game and slipping guys through and holding up the ball.
And Ferreira scored another goal, and he's on his way to being the U.S. men's national team forward to start in Qatar, right?
Yes. I mean, sure.
Maybe.
Because Jordan Morris is not in 6 anymore, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan Morris.
Greg Berhalter broke my heart, but that's okay. Anyways, FC Dallas looking terrific, and I mean they are competing and staying close with Austin FC. I'm only 5 points behind.
I got to ask a question. I'm looking at the table here, Brooks. Looking at the table. Number 1 in the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia Union on 60 points. Number 1 in the Western Conference, LAFC with 57 points.
58. Well, that's right now.
Right now.
The game
Right now.
Isn't
Right.
ending,
Agreed.
but yeah,
Agreed.
57.
All right.
correct.
So, which one of those two teams,
Supporters
who
Shield?
comes out with the Supporters Shield?
Oh.
And for those who don't know the MLS, the Supporters Shield is the team that has the most points at the end of the year. Typically, that team never goes on to win the MLS Cup. It's just that's the way it ends up being. But who wins the Supporters Shield this year, Brooks?
I think it's Philadelphia.
You think Philly come out and win it?
Again.
Huh?
They're so what did they? I think they won it the year before when
Because New England obviously won it last year.
Yeah. I think they are just scoring goals left and right. I mean, they've won a couple 5-0, 6-0 games. They put 2 against New York Red Bull, who are a very good defensive team.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding. Scoring goals left and right. They got a goal difference of plus 42.
Yes.
That is
63 goals for.
63 goals scored this year, and there
That's more than
is
anyone. The
that
next
is
closest
the number.
Austin was 60, so
Yep.
that's not
Plus
terrible.
their schedules appears to be favorable.
Yes.
Orlando, Atlanta, Charlotte, Toronto.
Bottom tier teams,
Yeah.
right? But we don't know with TFC because the Fighting Bobs,
The Fighting
Canadian
Bobs.
Bobs are coming back, right?
I mean,
they're in 10th with 34. I mean, they're 4 points below New England.
LAFC has to play Dallas, right?
Yes, that's
They
going to
have
be a tough match.
Portland. They have to play Houston.
Yeah, which they should beat Houston. But is it at Portland or at home?
Is that Portland?
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, it will
And
be
it's at
tough.
Dallas.
Dallas is going to be extremely tough.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, Austin FC will just run away with it. So
Yeah, LAFC's just dropped a lot of games. I mean, losing at Austin, at San Jose, depending on will they lose to RSL tonight. I believe that's at home for them. It is.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you don't want to drop that game. But RSL are a very sneaky team. They can come out and upset and grab a point or 3 points. On
Kirk
the
said
road.
Seattle versus Atlanta was very good, but I don't trust him.
Seattle versus Atlanta, huh?
Was it good?
I did not watch that one. That was Portland versus Atlanta. He always does this.
Oh!
Yes, I know. I was like, I don't know
Is
that.
that
game.
a way for him to get you to you?
I think he always thinks when we were affiliated with one team was Portland, and he always messes up Portland and Seattle apparently, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Yes, that's all right. Montreal coming out with a good 4-3 win against their Canadian rival TFC. So Montreal's still looking good. As we know, Georgi Mihailovic has been sold to AZ Alkmaar as Alzheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so of the Eredivisie. So he'll be gone at the end of the season. But I am interested to see what Montreal can do when it comes playoff time. Because this team, as I said before, did not start the season off well. They were very focused on CONCACAF Champions League. And they now sit towards the top of the Eastern Conference standings at number 2, 8 points behind Philadelphia. So this will be very interesting. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be close. It's going to be close with a lot of these teams, and this is how it is every year.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens in the playoffs. And it's not uncommon for 7 seeds to knock out 2 seeds, and then to play a 1 seed and eliminate a 1 seed gets upset. This is MLS, baby. There's some parity.
We're coming down to the final 7-8 games of team season here, and
Actually, less than that. I think we have more like 5-6.
Yeah, they're coming down, depending on how many you've played so far. We're coming down to the end, and it's going to be fun to watch the MLS at the end here.
Yeah.
Anybody can get in. Anybody can win it. You just got to get into the playoffs, right?
All I want to know is, Brooks, what are the chances of Austin FC versus Columbus being in the final?
Oh, I don't.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Before you answer that, I love being lied to. Go ahead.
Talk dirty to Nate.
Oh, jeez.
Come on. So they're already
dirty talk.
They already. Should we book our tickets to that game so we can watch them? Or
No, I honestly think Columbus somehow screws up and they don't get into the playoffs.
Caleb Porter, no.
I personally, for me, I think this team is not responding well to Caleb Porter, and I think he usually has a 5-6 year existence at a club sometimes, and then you need to switch, just like a lot of managers do, like Klopp, seventh year and such, and a lot of guys are at Ferguson where they can last 15. How many years do you have? 15 years.
Sir Alex Ferguson?
Yeah.
20.
Oh, longer than that?
20 some odd.
Yeah,
he was
see, like, there are not a lot of coaches like
25,
that
26,
anymore.
yeah, maybe,
You need
yeah.
to rotate.
It was,
So,
when did he come in? 82, 83, something like that? Something like that, yeah.
so it's, you know, I don't know. It's going to be close for Columbus. You know, so it's going to be interesting.
How dare you, Steven? No way for Columbus. How dare you?
But I can see Austin.
Who's
making-
voting for Columbus there?
Steven said, no way, go Columbus. Oh, no, he's rooting for Columbus. Never mind. Sorry. He says he called Brooks a dumbass.
Well, you know, it happens.
No.
Austin FC, though, could very much make a run in the Western
excited.
Conference. They are dangerous, especially if they play at home.
And you know what they have going for them? Breakfast tacos, Craig.
Breakfast tacos.
Breakfast tacos, Brooks.
Really?
If you haven't had breakfast tacos at Austin FC, you haven't lived life. I mean, Torchy's Tacos is the shit.
I was gonna say
It's delicious.
I was gonna say Drusi or Diego Fagundes, but that's okay. Arstuber.
I'm not sure if that's a menu item at Torchy's Tacos, but if it is, I'm in. You know who also has Torchy Tacos, coincidentally?
Who? Houston?
Columbus has a
Oh.
Torchy's Tacos single store off-brand somewhere there. I don't know where it's at. So I've heard, or so I've seen on the Googles. So that's why
Googles.
Columbus versus Austin FC, the Torchy's Tacos Cup, breakfast burritos for all. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Awesome. Well, all right.
Get to the
Let's
games of the week next week.
let's
Just
wrap
pick a
up
few?
MLS Roundup.
Okay.
Let's talk about games of the week that Brooks is telling us we should be watching
Yeah.
coming on up. All
I
right,
think-
Brooks. Who should be watching this upcoming week?
So then we have Saturday, September 10th. We have Nashville hosting the LA Galaxy.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
3:30 p.m. So that's going to be a very interesting.
Middle of the day
one.
kickoff. Love it.
Yes. And then, I don't know, Seattle hosting Austin FC. I mean, Seattle needs to win some games. That's a tough one, but they are playing at home. That'll be at 8 p.m. on Saturday night as well, 9/10, September 10th. So that'd be good. And then, you know, my Portland Timbers playing against Minnesota United, again, on Saturday at 10 p.m. That's going to be an important one for Portland to draw themselves even closer to Minnesota in the table. So that's going to be a big one. Let's see if there's anyone else. Oh, this is a good one. Like Nate said, FC Dallas hosting LAFC, 8:30 p.m. That's going to make ESPN Plus. So.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna look forward to that one
Yes.
personally.
So those are a few of them. And then my Fighting Bobs. I mean, I'm rooting for Bob Bradley. They're at Atlanta, so they got to win. That's
Gotta
a
win.
team
Gotta
around
win.
them, so they got to win.
All right, that'll do it for MLS Roundup for the week. Now I've got some interesting / funny / bizarre soccer news to share with everybody. I came across something today. This has to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen, or ever, I didn't even see it, ever heard of, ever read. I love when soccer players, get sent off for funny reasons. This one's called Urinate Gate. A goalkeeper was sent off in the FA Cup tie for urinating in a hedge bush during a first qualifying round match. Blackfield and Langley FC. The goalkeeper, Connor Masko, was caught short in the 76th minute of his side 0-0 draw against Shepton Mallet FC. The ball went out for a goal kick, meaning I'm guessing someone from Shepton Mallet FC shot, missed, the ball went behind the goal. Connor Masko, the goalie for Blackfield and Langley FC, went to get the ball. As he ran after the ball, he found a bush, hedge, whatever you want to call it, and started peeing. I think he was trying to waste time. The referee ran over, saw what he was doing, and promptly gave him a red card. This tie will be replayed, and Blackfield and Langley's official account tweeted to say that they hoped they would get plenty of bathroom breaks en route to the game, while Shepton Mallet also posted to say they were looking forward a match sponsor urging plumbers or porta potty companies to take advantage of the situation. Urinate Gate.
Do like a VAR replay here so you can decipher whether or not the urination was in fact urination or just maybe bodily sweat. That is, we need to, I think, slow that down and have somebody
I do not want to be the official VAR on the end of that. So maybe VJ can sign up
Why?
himself.
For once, maybe VAR won't be shitty. It'll be pissy.
Oh, Nate! We got to do the.
Yeah.
All right, and as promised earlier, I came across this: 2 dudes in a hot tub.
It wasn't us.
At the
This time.
in a Ligue 1 game, Troyes versus Rennes.
Of course, France.
You know what? That actually
France.
that makes a lot
Is
of
Mike
sense.
Is Michael there?
I was kind of like, this is the weirdest thing. Oh, France. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay. Never
they
mind.
do 2 dudes in a hot tub.
They're
Just-
surrendering. They're
Yep.
see the white flag.
There's another picture. The
Yeah.
picture from the front, picture from behind. There they are, just hanging out in a hot tub. I don't know if they won a competition here. I don't know if they brought this themselves and set it up. It looks like there's some sort of sponsorship. I don't know. I don't know French. I can't read it. But
Honestly,
2 dudes in a hot tub at a soccer
I
game.
think that's the team's logo on everything.
Oh, maybe.
I think the team has like a little like special place where you can just
2 guys would, or 2 people would. Honestly, that's kind of awesome. Like, that's like, tell me you would not want to sit in a hot tub.
I mean, am I being
you
delivered
saying-
beers?
Are
Are you
Yeah,
saying
they got
DCFC needs one for next year?
Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa, DCFC,
Yes.
get on this. On top of one of the shipping containers, go ahead and put
Hell
a
yeah.
Yes.
put a hot tub.
Yes.
Lucky that would really pay off in the early season games and
Yes.
the late October games where
Yes.
it's cold as hell.
You can't tell me that would be awesome to sit in a hot tub if you have a waiter coming in, getting you beers or drinks or food while you watch a game from a hot tub. You wouldn't do that?
Oh, I
That would
would.
be
I would
100%.
absolutely. They should sell
It has to
tickets
be
and
a
do a
night game,
drawing.
though. It can't be during the day because it gets really hot in the
Oh
summer.
yeah, you're right. You can't be
just
doing
kind of
that.
wondering why you don't want to see VAR for peeing, but you got 2 different views of dudes in a hot tub. Brings up a point.
That's all I got. I found that one on Twitter. No VAR for peeing, but yeah, we do have 2 shots of the dudes in a hot tub front.
It was
and
quite a
back.
week of soccer.
It was
jealous.
an interesting week. We got a lot more soccer coming up. All right, folks. I think we're going to wrap it up. That's another We Are Soccer done for this week. We had a lot of fun. Thanks for joining. Do us a favor. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video. We'll have a lot of clips from this video coming up in the next couple of days in case you missed any of it. We appreciate everybody following along and commentating. And until next week, I guess from the boys and I would like to say cheers.
Yes.
Cheers, boys.
And snacks.